Hello, welcome. We will be starting in just a moment. Glad you are here. All right. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to this regularly scheduled Insight Timer live stream on this beautiful Sunday morning from Mexico, wherever you are in the world. Welcome, Jacqueline. Good morning. Chelsea, Mim, Laurel, excuse me. My voice is creaky. I also would like to ask about the sound volume. And I know everybody has different, you can control that on your phone, and I wonder how it sounds, if it's not loud enough generally right now. Hi, Wendy. So, great, thank you. I did not know that I had my sound too loud for like 2 years until 2 days ago. And I know like you can turn it down on your device, and yeah, it was too loud, and that was me in the settings. So I have adjusted it because I have a whole technical setup going on here, and yeah, it's always learning. Chilly and rainy in upstate New York. Here in Ajijic, Mexico is paradise every day. I live steps from the biggest lake in Mexico. I wake up to bird song and sunshine and quiet every day in my beautiful home, and I get to do what I love, serving people, connecting with people, working with you all, doing live streams here, having my amazing coaching practice, also getting to do my energy healing and card readings and my new Etsy store. And I'm also going to be adding new tracks here on Insight Timer. This is my next big project, which is why I learned that my audio was too loud, because I was going to pull some of my content to use and download or upload as like individualized tracks. And it's just, I don't think it's going to be possible. So I get to record new content. And so stay tuned. Stay tuned for all that. Hi, Jen. Good morning. I also, oh, interesting. Great. Thank you, J.E. What about right now? Because I have changed it. So this is the, this is the test. And happy Gemini season to everybody. Woo woo! And it's my season. So I'm super excited about the next month. I will be traveling for the first time. I mean, I've done a tiny bit of travel to the US in the past year and a half. But I've really been very in my little beautiful nest here in my little paradise. So I'm not going a ton of places. I mean, whatever. I'm going to 2 countries. And within those 2 countries, I'll be going in Peru, I'll be going to 2 places. And then in Guatemala, I'll be going to 3 places. And of course, you will be coming with me for the live streams in those places. So there will be different backgrounds, and that's how things used to be when I would live in Asia and travel around more. Okay. Interesting. Well, again, hopefully everybody can hear me okay. Thank you for the feedback on that. Yeah, so please follow me here in Insight Timer, and you will be able to see I do have a number of live streams scheduled till the end of June. Please RSVP to those if you are coming. Bring a friend. Thank you for that feedback. Actually, let me adjust it a little bit, and if you all don't mind taking a moment, and let's see if I just turn it up a little bit, like if that actually makes a difference in what y'all can hear. Oh, wait. It's a very sensitive button. Okay. Tell me if this is any different. Excuse me. Now I'm blowing out your ear with my coughing. So yeah, things to look forward to, and it is about to be rainy season here. So we, for 6 months, it rains maybe twice. It's actually been a little rainier. It's probably rained 10 times. And rainy season is about to start next month, so things will be cozy and cool and cloudy and rainy and green. So there's lots of mountains outside of my home here as well. And of course, in dry season, they turn brown with the vegetation, and they will all be a bright green once we have our rain start. So it will be rainy season in Guatemala as well. So that will all be interesting. So that's a little update from me. And if you are new, I'm Natalie, spiritual life coach and Reiki master teacher. Please follow me here in the app, as I said. Let's see. Okay. And I will share my next live stream with you, so you can RSVP if it sounds interesting to you. So on the 27th, I think that's Tuesday or Wednesday, we're going to be talking about, are you a hopeaholic? The emotional addiction of waiting for someone to change. Does that hit anybody in their heart? Oh, are you a hopeaholic? By the way, all of the topics that I do, I have and I am and I have experienced. So they are all near and dear to my own heart. So join for that. And that will be 2:30 p.m. Eastern on the 27th. So let me plug in here. So today we're going to be doing spirit messages. And the spirit messages will be about coming home to yourself. So what does that mean? And I want to ask you all, what is your day-to-day, moment-to-moment experience of living inside of yourself? Do you feel generally at peace, at ease, calm and relaxed? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel like you're grounded in your center as you move through your life? Or is it constant, like internal putting out fires? Are you filled with anxiety, angst, fear? What if, self-doubt, indecision, not trusting what you feel, not trusting your inner guidance? Do you feel a lot of uncertainty inside of yourself? And this isn't to say, oh, I'm rating myself on a scale and oh no, I'm bad and now I get to shame myself and blame myself. So that's not what we're doing, and that's not the purpose of the question. It's a reflection for you to really just slow down a minute, because we live inside of these houses that are our bodies, and how safe we feel in our body determines the quality of our lives. The degree of safety that you feel in your body determines the quality of your life. So really reflect on that and let that sink in, and test that. Wendy still feels uncomfortable, of course. Totally makes sense in that it's gotten better with sobriety. You know, as you all know, I am also recovered alcoholic and addict in recovery. And just, you know, that's a whole other ball game, right? If somebody's in active addiction, and that experience of living within that is very intense, very challenging, very excruciating, and a living literal hell. So, great, thank you for that, J.E. So we're going to pull cards today and just get some messages from Spirit just about this idea of learning to relax, learning to come home to ourselves, learning to trust ourselves, feel safe in our bodies. And I want you just to drop in for a moment and take a breath. And just feel that sense of this home that is your body. And just relax a little bit more into that. And you know, the biggest thing is that you can only create safety right here and right now. You can't do it tomorrow. You can't go back and do it yesterday. It's something that can only be done right here and right now. And so just notice feeling the heaviness and weight of your body. How gravity pulls and can feel so heavy if you tune into it. You know, we are never without gravity. So, you know, we are so adapted to it. And if you practice tuning in, you can get a sense of that feeling. So, We will start with Michael Singer. Lovely Michael Singer. If anybody does not know who Michael Singer is, be brave and say that you don't know, and I will tell you. This is his Untethered Soul deck that we all know so well. How do you free yourself? In the deepest sense, you free yourself by finding yourself. How do you free yourself? In the deepest sense, you free yourself by finding yourself. So just breathe into that. And this goes along perfectly as the opening to our spirit messages today. And what does it mean to find yourself? Hi, Allie. Great to see you. Thank you for joining. Lovely to have you. Who are you? How do you know how do you know that you found yourself? So this goes into the deeper non-duality teachings that Michael Singer talks about. You know, I'm talking about feeling at home in the body, and that infers that we are not the body, and that we are the awareness that is aware, that is the experiencer of all of these things. And we experience this three-dimensional reality through our senses. As I was saying, like that heaviness, that could be described as, you know, touch. You can feel you're touching the surface that you're on. And then we also have extra sensory perceptions. We have a sixth sense. So we say five senses, but then we have this mystical, multi-dimensional sixth sense. And we use all of these ways of perceiving to gather information about our environment. And we have an inner environment and an outer environment. And so, you know, what we're focusing on today is the inner environment and how that feels for you on a moment-to-moment basis. And as I said, the way to most improve the quality of your life is to have safety and be able to feel safe in your body as much as possible. So the greater amount of time you feel safe, at ease, relaxed, and calm in your body, you feel steady, you feel secure, grounded. That will improve the quality of your life, because that will improve the quality of your present moment experience. And if we go back to this idea of finding yourself, you will not find yourself as the body. You will not find yourself in the body. You will find yourself in this very subtle space of the witness and the observer and the awareness of your experience, which includes everything I'm saying. Michael Singer calls it the seat of consciousness or the seat of self, and many spiritual teachers talk about this. Gary Zukav wrote a very famous book, a very good book called Seat of the Soul. So what we call that seat is that place, that intangible place from which your awareness springs forth. And your awareness never changes, the quality of it never shifts, it never wavers, not even for a second. If you look at yourself in the mirror now, and you have this experience of you can witness, you can observe, you can feel and get a sense of you as you look at yourself. If you go back to when you were 8 years old, that same sense of awareness is the same. Even though the body looks completely different, that experience of yourself is the same. That awareness that looks out from behind your eyes. So if you fast forward and go to you're a teenager and doing this and looking in the mirror, different body, same awareness, and on and on and on. So when you start to be able to just open up to and touch into this awareness, this is where enlightenment lies and freedom. And Michael Singer talks about this because for most of us, we are not established in this awareness. So the world can come and things can happen and we just get swayed by everything. We get pushed off our center very easily because that's default human existence. So when you start to be able to cultivate this seat of awareness that sits behind, and this behind is like a multi-dimensional space. It's not physical, it's something that you tune into experientially. And the more you establish that, the less things will be able to wobble you. Ramana Maharshi is one of the best known teachers ever, and he's more modern. He was alive in the last century, where he taught this, and he was a fully enlightened being. And his famous question is the question, who am I? And his method that he taught as the path to enlightenment was never ceasing to ask that question, who am I? And then who is the one having these thoughts? Who is the one having these experiences? Naturally, you will say, me. Who am I? And it can't be answered with words, because words cannot grasp the intangible and the infinite. So Spirit wanted to go very deep, very quickly today. Y'all are ready for it. If you're hearing this, you're ready. It's very simple and it's very profound. I was very lucky enough to live in Ramana Maharshi's famous town that he made famous in South India. Well, you were here with me if you've been with me. Since I've been on Insight Timer, you were there as well. So his devotees, so there's a mountain, a sacred mountain, Arunachala, which the Hindu Indians believe that is the embodiment of Shiva. Well, there's 2 mountains in India that are Shiva, and this is the one in the south. And so it's a very, very powerful place, and 1 million people a month on the full moon will walk around the mountain. It's 14 kilometers, and they will walk barefoot all night. I did it. I wore shoes. But some of his devotees will walk it every day. And as they walk that mountain, around the mountain, they will focus on the question, who am I? Because we are beyond the body. We are not this body. We are not this personality. You are not your name. You are not anything you can associate with the body. You are timeless beyond that. And that's what this message is touching into, is that essence that is behind the personality. All of this is temporary. Everything we see, this body, but what is infinite and eternal is this exquisite consciousness. And that is the truth with a capital T of what you are and what we all are. And then, in an even bigger sense, it's not that there's many separate consciousnesses, but that ultimately there is only one. There is only one consciousness, the I am presence. And that we are all that, and then we're in this illusion of human differentiated form. But if you've heard that before in spiritual terms and seekings of, we are all one, like that's ultimately from a non-dual perspective what that means. And so if you've heard kind of the idea of like, what you do to anybody else, you're doing to yourself, from this view can be looked at as, since there is only one unified consciousness behind everything and everyone, you're doing the thing to yourself, another version of you. So Muji is a disciple of Ramana and Papaji. He's alive and well and teaches, and so he teaches this. He has a very powerful meditation to help you awaken. And I remember I did this meditation when I was living in Bali 7 or 8 years ago. I was working in this, one of the busiest cafes in Ubud, and I wasn't a coach at this time. It was when I had my normal job, my corporate job, and I was working online. So I took a break. I was having a horrible day. I just, in my YouTube comes up whatever spiritual stuff. This Muji meditation came up. I just closed my eyes there at my cafe table and started listening. It was an hour and a half long. I had a profound awakening experience with this meditation. I ended up crying my eyes out and bawling, and I couldn't stop. And I'm just in this super crowded place, and I came out of the meditation and, I don't know, started talking to all these people around me, and we started having this discussion, and it was beautiful. And that sense of awareness of the I am presence stayed with me for a few weeks. So there's what's called abiding and non-abiding awareness. Abiding means continual. Non-abiding means it comes and goes. So I had like an abiding experience until it became non-abiding. But most people don't even touch that. So I felt very blessed. So if anybody wants to do this, send me a message. I'll send you the link to the meditation. Hey, Angela. So, as I'm talking, I'd just like for you to kind of experiment with this idea and see if you can just touch into that awareness behind all of this, behind these 3 dimensions. And this is where enlightened beings live. And this is the real, reality. And when, again, you can live that, there is peace, freedom, ease, being in the world but not of the world. So that's the journey that we are on here. And it all ties into our topic for today, although in a very different way than I was planning. But y'all are ready for it. Is this a new concept to anybody here? Eckhart Tolle, this is basically all he talks about. So it's a very well-known teaching. So if you have joined in, please don't forget to follow me here on Insight Timer. I'm also double live streaming this on my YouTube channel, so follow me there. That would be really helpful for me, and also my Facebook and Instagram. And you can join my group, Natalie's Healing Circle, here in Insight Timer. We can keep in touch in between our live streams. Yes, Jacqueline, send a message. Yeah, Allie. I mean, it's so simple, but it's so profound, and it's like, yes, to have a concept of it, a conceptualization of the idea is necessary to point to what it is, but it's beyond words. It's intangible. It's like trying to describe how love feels. We can use words to get near it, but until you actually have the actual feeling in your heart, and you experience that, there's a dimension that's missing. So we can talk about it and point to it. The best example of that is, how many of you remember Carl Sagan, Cosmos? And if you are of an older, even older than me, a little bit, generation, there was the PBS special Cosmos by Carl Sagan, which is now on YouTube, and it is amazing, and I would highly recommend it. There are some profound scientific teachings in there, but that are like, blow your mind. But he talks about multi-dimensions because it's a scientific thing. And he talks about I don't know what dimension it is, a cube, and Ali, Sagan, Carl Sagan. So there's a cube that's called a tesseract. Has anybody heard of that? Tesseract. So he had like a 3D plastic tesseract, which is like a square, but it's a square that is in like, we can't see it because we don't have the dimensions here for it. We have 3 dimensions. I mean, 4 if you count time. But this tesseract is like a 5, 6, 7, I don't know, maybe it might be a 4th dimensional cube. So he had this plastic 3-dimensional tesseract, but you can't see the whole thing because you're missing a dimension. So it was a 3-dimensional representation of a 4-dimensional object. So this gets really deep and profound. It's the same thing as if, how many of you in school drew a cube on a piece of paper? And you draw the square, and then you draw like the lines coming off, and then it looks 3-dimensional, but it's on a 2-dimensional piece of paper. Are you following? But then if you have a block, you have a cube, a square cube here, you can hold in your hand, that's 3 dimensions. But you lose a dimension when you draw it on a piece of paper. So the tesseract is the same thing. And my point for all of this is that we can talk about, this deep, profound truth of who we are in this I am presence, but we can only point to it. We are multidimensional beings beyond 3 dimensions, but it's something that you must experience within the privacy of your own body, mind, heart, and soul. So, my Sagittarius is coming out. I do have some cards here, some more cards. It might be fun one day to do a live and me play some Carl Sagan clips, because they will fucking blow your mind. Seriously. I can name a handful from that series that totally shook me. So maybe that's an idea. Be the hunter, not the hunted. Be the hunter, not the hunted. Remember the truth of who you are. Remember these deep truths. When life feels big, overwhelming, scary, Oh, great. Thank you, Jacqueline. The internet is a wonderful thing. I did finally get there. I knew it was multi-dimensions, and then I did remember it was 4. Yeah. It's very interesting. So you can even see, look at this owl's eyes, full of wisdom, full of presence. That presence is what we're talking about here. The thing is, in being in this, the card sense, being the hunter is being in that truth of who you are, that infinite loving awareness, instead of being in the ego, instead of being identified as the ego, as the thoughts, as the body. The hunted is that. The hunter, and I mean, it's not really hunter and hunted because nobody's hunting. But to me, what that means is the hunter is powerful. The hunter is empowered. The hunter is sovereign. The hunter is independent and free. The hunted is scared, is a victim, is responding and reacting to their external environment and trying to protect themselves, right? So that's all ego. Then, you know, always, you can't make this shit up. Diving for light. Diving for light. So this light, this infinite light that you are, is within. You will not find the answer outside of yourself. It reminds me of two parables with the same story but different ideas or different details. I think Eckhart tells this one about a beggar. His whole life, this man was a beggar. He sat on top of this box on the street and he just begged for every meal, had nothing, and was destitute. And when he died and they took him away and they looked in the box that he'd been sitting on his whole life, it was filled with riches and filled with gold. So he had been sitting on this treasure that he'd been looking and begging for and not even knowing it was there his whole life. And that's, you know, in the spiritual game, it's the same thing. You look outside of yourself, grasping, wanting the next thing to be the answer. But the gold is here all the time, and the gold is this loving, infinite presence that you are. It's always available. It never changes. It never wavers. Yep. So let's look at Work Your Light deck. And it's, you know, of course, it's like the mind is like, I want to be fully enlightened right now and everything to change forever, this minute. And of course, you know, it can happen that way and also not. So like I said, when I did that Muji meditation, I had a profound awakening experience and it did stick with me. Like, again, it's hard to explain because it was, you know, this internal experience, but there was a space between this infinite awareness, this I am presence, and the world and my body. So what it did is it like opened this space to where I could experience the world, but I wasn't fully, like the seat of myself, the seat of consciousness I was seated, my awareness was seated in that instead of just being pulled off every minute by all of these stimuluses. And, you know, what could have kept it more and brought it into more permanence was daily meditation. And not that I didn't meditate every day, but I wasn't disciplined because I could really feel that in my meditation. And then whatever, I'm very human and I lost it and didn't have the discipline. And I had that experience, and that can't be taken away. Whew. Priestess. And it says, how are you being called to step up and lead? So the thing is, when you know, the more sovereign you become, the more like a hunter in the sense that we're talking about, and not the hunted. You know, you naturally have more personal power because you're not being swayed by the things of the world. And you will naturally become a leader. You will naturally lead because you are self-leading, and here you have this seat, this groundedness that cannot be swayed. And, you know, the mind will want to make it into a project, make it into all these steps, make it into all this conditional stuff. And it's like, it's only something that you can do right now, because there's only ever now. And that means how, like, tuning into, how does it feel to have a physical body? How do you know you have a body? You can sense the heaviness and weight of the limbs and the body. You can feel, for those of you that are new at it, feeling warmth in your palms or the soles of your feet is the best place to start. Tuning into your palms and the soles of your feet, feeling warmth there. You can also then start to feel tingling. You can feel sensation. You can feel waves of sensation. That will help you to feel how it feels in your body. And see, then you're being the observer and the witness of that. So you're creating space. So this is something that requires practice, planting a seed. So today is planting a seed. If this is new for you, if it's not, it's reinforcement. But this is something that, you know, for some people are lucky or unlucky enough to have an instant Kundalini awakening experience. I personally would not want that. It is very stressful and jarring and very difficult and challenging. I've known that to happen for some people. Byron Katie had that happen. And for a few years, she was insane. She could not take care of herself. She was like a child in the world. So Spirit, I'll take the gradual variety. And for most of us, it's going to be that. And you know, there can be like a sense of disappointment that comes of like, why isn't it happening fast enough? Or, you know, so this is a message of like, don't focus on what you don't want, or that it's slow, or that it's not happening. To me, this is a card of like, the wounded inner child is coming out. I mean, she even looks like she's got this little like wounded self-pity inner child look. But, you know, that's going to just keep you stuck, which you can't get it wrong and you'll never get it done, as Abraham Hicks says. So you can't get off the path, you can't do it wrong, you can't delay. I mean, it's all part of the journey, but, you know, there can be a sense of this. And as I always point out, look, there's a hand holding out a full cup, and she is not taking it. She's not looking, she's trapped in her own mind. So this could also be you as you wake up. It's like looking around at what's not wanted, or looking around at how it's not happening fast enough. And it's like, no, the treasure is here. The treasure is being given to you. It's being held out for you. The treasure is right here and right now in this present moment, only here, only now. The richness of everything that's in this experience, in this moment. That cup is constantly offered every millisecond. But we're too distracted, and too in our conditioning, and too in our wounding to notice it often. And again, not as a blame shame, just as a noticing. Because each moment is a new beginning. Each moment holds infinite possibility. Each moment holds this potential for awakening. And, you know, Muji talks about this, of like losing yourself. And Michael Singer talks about it. Like letting yourself just drown in the ocean of God, which is this I am presence in this non-duality teaching. So it's like just surrender. That's what the surrendering is. Surrendering to this moment, surrendering to the now. So I want to close with playing this beautiful song. And it's hopefully, I had my insight timer open. Hopefully I can find the exact one, but it's Muji. So it's got a little Muji clips, but it's got this beautiful singer. Let me search it. Yeah, the singer's name I think is Omkara. Yeah, here we go. So the song is called Remember. So I want you to go into a meditative space for this, because it's very deep and profound, and it's perfect for today. So I'm going to play this. It's 11 minutes. You will love it. So go ahead and close your eyes. Get centered. And yeah, if the volume isn't right, just tell me in the comment. Here we go.
This is your attitude. There's not two. There's only one. Where is the separation, you see? It'll be over in the blink of an eye. Remember who you are. Remember what you are. Whose life is this? Whose hands are these?
Take a deep breath in. And just feel into that message, into that music, the energy. Remember who you are. You are that awareness, that loving awareness behind everything. Separation does not exist. We all share that same I am presence. So the man that came in, that was Muji's voice. He's Jamaican British. He's in Portugal. He has an ashram there. He also spends Rishikesh's high season there, or he did. He also goes to Tiruvannamalai, where Ramana Maharshi's ashram is. Yes, thank you, Jacqueline. So if you just search Remember by Omkara, you'll get like the original, but that one is like one where she played live for Muji, and that's, you know, a couple quotes, you know, they put in there. So I hope you enjoyed today's live stream. Very deep, very profound. You can practice every moment when you remember to remember who you are. You are not this body. You are not your thoughts. You are not your feelings. You are not your emotions. You are that infinite awareness that's behind all of that. Thank you all. Thank you, Allie, J.E., Wendy. Thank you, Lindsay, for the donation. Don't forget to follow me here if you don't already, as well as YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Check my website. Go to my new Etsy store, Heartbreak Recovery Co. And listen to my meditations here. Stay tuned for more. Hi, Mim, welcome. You're welcome. And come to my next live stream. Here it is on the screen. Are you a hopeaholic? The emotional addiction of waiting for someone to change. And what I love about the topic today is it only makes everything better. So even, you know, we're going to talk about this hopeaholism, you know, learning to abide in that awareness and change your seat of consciousness from just being identified with your thoughts, your feelings, your perceptions, your environment, to starting to disentangle from that, to be identified with the presence that experiences all of it, will only make everything better, because there will be space in between. You all are already on the journey. You all already don't, you know, you're not your thoughts, I imagine, most of you. Oh, great, Jacqueline. Muji Mala, is that Muji himself? Is that the name of him here on Insight Timer? or is that the song? I don't know. But anyway, I'm not surprised. Most of the best teachers in the world are on here. So, and if you feel called to reach out one-on-one, please don't hesitate to do so. And if you want what I just played, or I also mentioned the awakening meditation that was so profound for me, I can share that with you if you send me a message as well. I will see you May 27th at 2:30 p.m. Thank you all so much. Much love and namaste.